Okay, today's trip is probably more exploration trip than it is photography trip. Planning on doing a fairly easy, hopefully 6 to 7 kilometre hike along the water route here in the Serra de Mariolas. Never been here before, and because it's mostly exploration, I've left the big camera gear at home, but because I'm hoping to do some photography, I've brought the little Canon M50, a couple of lenses and a few other bits and pieces which we may or may not use. Anyway, I think I've found the start of the hike, so time to get going. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. So this is part of the Serra Mariola, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly but I'm not sure, Serra Mariola Natural Park, and this is the water route. Now I've never been here before, but it's a place that I've been meaning to come for a little while and explore. Now I may not be coming here at the best time of year because this is alongside the Vinalope river. So we've got the river, there's supposed to be waterfalls, in fact there's also supposed to be some old paper mills and old buildings here, plus the source of the Vinalope river, or what's supposed to be, or normally called the source of the Vinalope river. The reason it may not be the best time is because it's the end of summer, we're just over halfway through September, and yeah, you know, waterfalls and the river here are probably going to be fairly unimpressive. Nevertheless, I wanted to come and have a look and see what's here that would be worth coming back another time and photographing. Plus, of course, there's always the possibility that I'm going to find something to shoot here, even though it's the middle of the afternoon. It should be a relatively easy hike. From what I'm told, it's reasonably flat. 6.5 kilometres, something like that, so not too strenuous, which is good because it's still pretty hot here, even though we're now more than halfway through September. Temperatures this afternoon are probably still in the high 20s, and very easy to get exhausted in this kind of heat. So I am packing plenty of water, but I've also got some camera gear with me. Although I've left the big Nikon DSLR and the big lenses at home, and even the big tripod at home. Just bought the Canon M50, 3 lenses, wide angle through to telephoto. I have brought some filters, just in case the waterfalls are worth shooting, and I've brought my lightweight tripod for exactly the same reason. What I'm hoping to find here is a variety of things. The buildings might be interesting. There's lots of trees here, so we might be finding some different kind of trees which might open this place up as an autumn option to get some autumn colours. Too early for that right now, but you know, maybe in another month or so, 2 months. And as I said, the river and the waterfalls. So what I'm doing now is just walking along this first path, which is a sort of a big wide dirt track. There's some farmhouses up here, so it is used by vehicles, but you have to have appropriate permission to use vehicles here. It is also used by cyclists, which I'm just moving out of the way of now. There we go. So I think the first leg up here is something like 2 kilometres. And leads up to one of the first features here, so I'll probably catch up with you when we get to that kind of point. Yeah, I should probably also mention that because I've stripped the weight right back for today, I'm shooting the video on the GoPro, so the feel of the video, maybe the sound might not be quite as good as normal. I guess I could have put the M50 into double duty, but I have this thing about separating video and stills, so I didn't. I hope the quality will be good enough anyway. Some beautiful scenery around here. quite nice. Sort of looking all the way around. As I said, there's some like farmhouses and that up here, and some woodland up the back here. Not the most attractive woodland, but woodland nevertheless. Okay, so this is the first of the abandoned mills. I think it was a paper mill. I think it's called Molly Campana, which I think is something like Bell the Mill. Well, Campana is definitely Bell. I think Molly might be Mill. So we passed the first of the mills, now we're on to the second area. These were converted into some kind of factory. Although I think they were mills originally. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'll put a note of it on here. Looks like the trail brings us around quite close to them, so maybe we'll get a decent look and see what happens from there. Okay, I think down this path here, which is before we get to the old abandoned factories, is where we can get down close to the river, and I think there's a pool and supposed to be a waterfall there. There's really nice waterfalls down there. I just can't work out how to get down to them. It almost looks like there's no way down, which is really frustrating.
I couldn't find my way down to those bigger waterfalls, but after a bit of exploring I did manage to get down to some smaller cascades a bit further upstream and closer to where the factories were, and I thought they might make a nice consolation image.
Okay, I've got a shot set up. I was going to go very low on the tripod, but I've got a bit higher. Vertical orientation, a little bit of rock in the foreground, water coming down. The water curves in from the bottom right and disappears off kind of halfway up the frame, and then we've got sort of foliage and trees and that up in the background. Really difficult to see what I'm composing. I'm using the screen to compose. I'm shooting with the 11 to 22 lens on a 12-13 millimeters. 6-stop ND filter just to slow it down. It's letting me get about half a second. That might look nice.
I got that one shot and then decided I wanted to try to get a slightly wider scene, and that involved heading out onto some pretty slippery rocks with the water washing up around the tops of my boots, and yeah, I was getting wet feet.
I'm glad I brought the little Canon for that. Sorry, it's a bit of a climb up from there. I'm glad I bought the little Canon for that shot, because the flip out screen really helped. I'd have been struggling to make that composition otherwise. Really struggling. Anyway, let's carry on and see what else we can see. Okay, so we've got the ruins of the factories here, literally right by the water running through. So they obviously used the water for the factories. I mean, they're just complete ruins. There's nothing there. I don't think there's even any images worth taking here at the moment. Right, we'll go down and have a look further down. I don't think there's anything worth shooting there. Just following the trail signs now to see where they lead. Okay, so we're walking along by the side of the river now, which was what the map said. On this bridge, just bumped into a very nice Spanish gentleman who was telling me that the little cave, which is the source or the birthplace of the river, is just along here behind me. And he was saying the water here is very, very good. He's been coming here every day for 71 years, since he was very tiny, and drinking the water. And he says he never has a bad stomach or any other problems. So I'm going to go and have a look. I might even have a little taste. Let's see what it's like. This is supposed to be the source of the Vinalope River. I think it's widely accepted that there's lots of water running into here, but this is the one that's called the source, the Font de la Caveta. And this water is supposed to be really good to drink. Just debating whether I'm going to try it. Yeah, clean, fresh water, no chemical taste. Nothing unpleasant. It's really pretty down there. This is one of the areas that's reserved for conservation, so it's barriered off. I mean, I could do a shot down there from up here, but I don't think, even with a polarizer, I don't think it's going to look all that great. But it is pretty. I don't know, I might do. Let's have a look. So shooting this with the 55 to 200 lens on circular polarizer to cut out the reflections and bring all that green through from underneath there. And yeah, it's kind of a detailed, almost abstract shot. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see.
Sometimes you take an image that's so completely different to what you normally do that it's difficult to judge for yourself whether it works or not. On the face of it, this image shouldn't work. It has none of the normal compositional elements for an image. And in fact, there's nothing that's even remotely sharp in this scene because everything is being viewed through the moving water. So it shouldn't work, but there's something about it that I actually quite like. I suspect this is going to be one of those images that I will either grow to love or hate. I'm not quite sure which it's going to be yet, but I thought I'd show it to you anyway.
Okay, so I'm heading back towards the car now. Can't be out too late this evening. I've had a great time actually, done a fair bit of walking, got my feet soaking wet, taking a couple of pictures that may or may not work. What more can you want? In terms of the exploration and kind of scouting this, there's definitely some possibilities here. I'm thinking of coming back here in maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks, see if there's some autumn colours in some of those trees. And it's actually not far away from Fontrocha, so I could do a day trip and do like the morning here, afternoon at Fontrocha. That's a possible, make a full day of it. It's also probably worth coming back here in the spring or late winter, particularly if we get a lot of rain and maybe some snow over the winter, to sort of swell the rivers and make the waterfalls and that a bit more impressive. We shall see. Anyway, I've enjoyed myself and I hope you've enjoyed coming along as well. If you have, leave me a comment, hit the like button, share it on social media. Don't forget about that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. So, thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.